Hi, I'm Nolan, 35, and 2 years after I buried my daughter, the one thing I had left of her, her voice, was nearly stolen from me. I'm sitting in my car right now, parked outside the apartment I used to call home. I say, used to, because what's inside isn't home anymore. Not after what she did. I haven't gone inside yet. I've just been sitting here, staring at the door, clutching my phone like it's the last tether to my sanity. Because in some ways it is. 2 years ago, my world ended when my daughter, my only child, died from leukemia. She was 7. I won't go into it because I'll shatter if I try. But I'll say this, she had a voice like wind chimes in summer. Soft. Musical. Full of laughter. I had exactly one recording of her saved on my phone. 38 seconds. Her saying goodnight to me while I was away on a business trip. Good night, Daddy. I love you. I miss you. Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite. Then she giggled. That giggle could part clouds. I kept it safe. Didn't show it to anyone. Didn't post it. Didn't share it. I listened to it maybe once a week. Sometimes more on the dark days. Always alone. Then Madison entered my life. I met her through a grief support mixer. She seemed to get it, at first. Said she respected that I'd always be a dad, even if my daughter was gone. Said grief doesn't follow a schedule. Said all the right things. I think she even meant them for a while. We dated. It was nice at first. She moved in about 4 months ago. My place, my name on the deed, no lease. She was supposed to contribute eventually. That never happened. Always a reason, car trouble, dental work, her best friend's dog needed a surgery, whatever. Then it started. Subtle digs. You talk about her a lot. I feel like I'm competing with a memory. Maybe we should pack up some of her photos. For your healing. I should have known. Should have ended it then. But grief makes you starve for connection. And I was starving. She made me feel warm again. At least for a while. Until this morning. I left early for work. She was already up, which was strange. She normally slept past noon. She was sitting on the couch. My phone was in her hands. What are you doing? I asked. She jumped. Just checking the weather, she said way too fast. Her own phone was on the coffee table right in front of her. Weird, but I was too tired to press. I left. Later that night, after a brutal day at work, I got home and did what I always do when it's too much. I went to listen to the recording. I opened the folder where I keep it. Gone. Panic set in. I checked. Recently deleted. Nothing. I searched the entire phone. Gone. I confronted her. Her response? Oh yeah? I deleted that. You need to move on. Just like that. Like she threw out expired yogurt. Like it was nothing. She said it was unhealthy. That she'd been patient, long enough. That I was. Obsessed with a dead child. That she was. Helping. I didn't say a word. I just walked to the door, opened it, and told her to leave. She protested. Said I was being insane. That it was midnight. That she had nowhere to go. Don't care, I said. You're not on the lease. You don't live here. She kept going until I picked up the phone and started dialing. Who are you calling? Police. To report a trespasser. She left. Slammed the door so hard the neighbor came knocking. After she was gone, I sat on the couch for an hour, numb. Then I remembered something. Cloud backup. I checked. Weekly autosync. It was still there. I re-downloaded it. Saved it in 3 different places. USB. Cloud. Email. Then I listened. I cried harder than I had in 2 years. Full body sobs. Like I was right back at the hospital that night. But now I'm just here. In my car. Outside that place. Wondering how I let someone that cold that close. And knowing, deep down, this isn't over. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Didn't eat either. Just sat on the edge of my bed staring at the door like it was going to swing open again, and this would all be some terrible hallucination. But it wasn't. I checked the backup a dozen times. Still there. But the idea that she'd reached into my life and deleted the one thing I had left of my daughter, that haunted me deeper than I knew possible. By noon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. What is wrong with you? A woman's voice barked. Who is this? This is Sabrina. Madison's best friend. She's devastated, Nolan. You kicked her out in the middle of the night like some animal. I blinked stunned. She deleted a recording of my dead daughter. Silence. Then, she said it was an accident. No. She told me to my face she deleted it on purpose. Said I needed to move on. After living rent-free in my apartment for 4 months. You're heartless. Sabrina hissed and hung up. I stared at the phone in disbelief. Then I went downstairs to make coffee and noticed it, the lock. Scratches around it. Fresh ones. Like someone tried to pick it. I felt my blood freeze. I live in a secure building. You don't just get in here unnoticed. But Madison knew the back entrance, knew the code, and knew the property manager never checks it. She'd seen me punch it in 100 times. I called the guy who manages the building. I'm technically on the condo board, but we hire someone for security and maintenance. Told him what happened. He came over, changed the locks that afternoon, and even brought in a better deadbolt system. I had him install a Ring camera too, one that notifies me if someone so much as walks up to my door. That night, just before midnight, it lit up. Motion detected at front door. I opened the app. Madison. Right there on my porch. Staring dead into the camera like she knew I was watching. She knocked once. Then again, harder. I know you're home, Nolan, she said. Her voice sounded flat. Cold. I didn't answer. This is ridiculous, she continued. We need to talk. You can't throw away a whole year over a stupid recording. I opened the door. Left the screen door shut and locked. Did you try to break in earlier? She didn't even blink. I was getting my stuff. You don't have a key. I did. I changed the locks. You can't do that, she snapped. I live here. No, I said calmly. You were staying here. Big difference. I've been here 4 months. That makes me a tenant. No rent. No lease. No utilities in your name. You're a guest. One that overstayed. Her expression darkened. You're garbage. You know that? I've put up with your grief and your crying and your staring at pictures of your dead kid for a year. I slammed the door. Locked it. Sat down and watched her pound on it for 10 full minutes. Then silence. The next day, another text. Unknown number again. My daughter told me what you did. Shame on you. She was trying to help you heal. Madison's mother. I replied. She deleted the only recording I had of my daughter's voice. On purpose. After 4 months of living rent-free in my apartment. You want to explain how that helps? No reply. An hour later, Madison texted from her own number. Coming to get my stuff tomorrow. You better let me in. I replied. Your stuff will be boxed up and outside my door tomorrow afternoon. You're not coming inside. If you try, I'm calling the police. You can't do that. What if someone steals it? Not my problem. You've got 1 hour to get it. After that, it's getting donated. That's illegal. No, it's not. You're not a tenant. And I'm being nice by boxing it instead of trash bagging it. That night, I started boxing her things. Not much, clothes, some makeup, cheap jewelry, a few books. She never really unpacked, which, looking back, probably should have told me something. Then I found it. My daughter's baby book. Not in the closet where I kept it. In her stuff. Under a pile of sweatshirts. Then a framed photo of me and my daughter at the beach. Glass cracked. A blanket my daughter used to sleep with. Stained. Red. Looked like wine. I stood in the middle of the room shaking. She wasn't just trying to make me move on. She was erasing my daughter. Piece by piece. Tomorrow, her stuff goes outside. But this isn't over. I can feel it in my bones. I was right. It wasn't over. Not even close. The next afternoon, I watched from behind the peephole as Madison showed up with her best friend and her mother to collect the boxes. I'd stacked everything neatly outside the door, even taped them shut. I didn't want any reason for her to knock, complain, or start drama. Didn't work. Her best friend tried the doorknob. Locked, of course. Then she glared right into the Ring camera like she was daring me to open it. Madison's mom flipped it off. Real classy bunch. And Madison? She just stood there, arms crossed, staring into the lens like she was about to deliver a curse. I hope you're happy, she said. Hope you die alone with your recordings. They loaded the boxes and left without saying another word. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. 3 days later, I came home from work and my door was open. Not kicked in. Not broken. Just open. The lock turned from inside. I froze. Didn't move for a full minute. My heart was punching the inside of my chest like it wanted out. I finally pushed the door open fully and stepped inside. At first, nothing looked off. Couch was fine. TV untouched. Kitchen lights still off like I left it. Then I checked my office, where I kept the boxes. I have 3 memory boxes. All of them full of my daughter's things. Her little drawings, macaroni art, birthday cards, tiny shoes, a stuffed rabbit she slept with every night since she was 3. One of the boxes was empty. Gone. Everything in it. I stood there in stunned silence for maybe 10 minutes before I even moved. Then I checked the ring footage. Nothing. Nothing on my door. That made no sense. Then it clicked. The back entrance. Madison knew the gate code. The building had a side door with no camera. I ran to the building's main security office. Asked for access to footage from around noon. There she was. Madison's best friend. Following a resident in through the side door. Slipping in behind them like some Mission Impossible spy. She went straight to the 3rd floor, my floor. Knocked on my elderly neighbor's door. Sweet woman. Mid-70s. Her husband died last year. I help her bring in groceries sometimes. My stomach dropped. I'd given her an emergency key to my apartment. Just in case. The video showed the best friend talking to her. The neighbor hesitated, then let her in. 5 minutes later, the friend walked out with a duffel bag. Smiling. I called the police. Filed the report. They were sympathetic, but honest. I didn't have footage from inside the unit. Neighbor thought she had permission. Not much they could do without proof she took anything. I texted Madison. Return my daughter's belongings or I'm pressing theft charges. She replied from a new number. I don't know what you're talking about. Security shows your best friend entering the building, lying to my neighbor, and coming out carrying my daughter's things. 1 box is gone. I'm not asking again. You can't prove what was in the box. That was it. That was her angle. That she played dumb. Pretend I was making it up. Then someone sent me a screenshot. Madison had posted a public story. Her Facebook was open. I hadn't checked in days. It read, I tried to help a broken man move on. But he was emotionally abusive and refused therapy. He clung to his daughter's memory like a security blanket. I gently suggested he let go of unhealthy habits. He threw me out in the middle of the night. Now he's harassing me. Hundreds of likes. Dozens of comments. Her mom commented. She gave him everything. A year of love. All he did was wallow in grief and punish her for trying to help. That's when I snapped. I don't do drama. I hate online fights. But I wasn't letting this stand. I commented. You're right. I couldn't move on. I lost my daughter. The only recording I had of her voice was 38 seconds long, and your daughter deleted it on purpose. Then someone broke into my apartment and stole a box of her belongings. Drawings. A stuffed rabbit. Crayon birthday cards. She called her a dead kid and said I was obsessed. That's what you're defending. Then I posted screenshots. The texts where Madison admitted deleting the file. Her messages demanding to be let back in. The text about the dead kid. The conversation about the stolen box. I tagged her. I tagged the best friend. And I said, return my daughter's belongings within 24 hours, or the next stop is the police and my lawyer. It exploded. The comments turned fast. People started asking what the hell was wrong with her. Some mutual friends messaged me, apologizing. One even said, I had no idea. She made it sound like you were crazy. I'm sorry. By that night, Madison's profile was private. Her mom's posts vanished. But at 1:14 a.m., my Ring camera lit up. Motion detected. It was the best friend. Holding a box. She set it down. Knocked once. Walked away fast, like a guilty raccoon. I waited 5 minutes. Opened the door. The box was there. Everything was in it. The rabbit smelled like cigarette smoke. One of the drawings, our family holding hands, was ripped down the middle. But it was back. And now I know exactly what they're capable of. This isn't just grief anymore. This is war. The next morning, I opened the box again. Carefully. Like it might fall apart in my hands. The rabbit, smoky, matted but still hers, sat on top, its head lolling sideways like it had been thrown. The torn drawing was folded underneath, ripped right through the middle of my daughter's little crayon version of me. I sat down at the kitchen table and stared at it all. I should have felt relief. I got it back. That should have been enough. But all I felt was rage. Because it wasn't just that they took it. It was how they took it. Like it was theirs to judge. Like my grief made me unworthy of keeping it. Like they could just rewrite it. Wipe her out of my life like a hard drive. That's when the voicemail came in. Madison's mom. You're a monster. You put my daughter on blast online. You humiliated her. For what? For a recording? You made her look like a villain to hundreds of people. All she did was care about you. You should be ashamed. I deleted it halfway through. Then I called the police again. This time, I asked how to file for a restraining order. The officer was calm. Patient. I told them everything: break-in, theft, attempted entry, online harassment, threats from friends and family. They said I had enough. The hearing would be in 2 weeks. I changed the neighbor's lock to a smart lock with a code. She cried when I explained why, sobbed, and kept apologizing. It's not your fault, I told her. You had no way of knowing. I trusted her once too. Then the letter came. Delivered to my door. Madison had lawyered up. A scrawny little manila envelope containing a cease and desist letter and a warning, if I didn't stop harassing her with defamation, she'd file a restraining order against me. Her lawyer claimed I was weaponizing the legal system to punish a woman for trying to help. I laughed out loud reading it. Actually laughed. They were playing the victim card so hard they'd bent the table. 2 days later, I got another unknown text. You got your stuff back. Leave us alone or we're getting a restraining order against you. I responded. You broke into my home and stole from me. Contact me again and I'll press charges. Then I blocked the number. The night before the court hearing, I didn't sleep. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, rehearsing what I'd say to the judge. I wasn't asking for revenge. Just peace. Space. Protection. But part of me still feared I'd be the one painted as unstable. The grieving man who couldn't let go. The angry one? The problem. And then came the morning of the hearing. She walked into the courtroom with her mother and her lawyer like they were heading to brunch. I didn't look at them. I just kept breathing. Judge called us up. Her lawyer went first. Claimed I was harassing her. That everything I'd posted was deeply personal and twisted by grief. He tried to say the break-in was a misunderstanding. That her friend thought she had permission. The judge raised an eyebrow. Permission from whom? The neighbor? Her lawyer stammered. Then I spoke. I laid it out. The recording. The deletion. Her own admission in text. The break-in. The stolen belongings. The online smear campaign. The threatening messages. The ring footage. The text demanding access to my home. The voicemail from her mother. The judge read through the packet I had submitted. Slowly. Then looked up at Madison. Did you delete the recording? Yes, she said, arms crossed. But, and did you enter his home, or instruct someone else to do so? No. I mean, not me personally. Did your friend enter the premises using a neighbor's key? She didn't steal anything. It was just a misunderstanding. The judge leaned forward. You deleted a recording of this man's deceased daughter. You or your associate entered his home under false pretenses and removed deeply personal items. And then, when confronted, your response was to mock him online and threaten legal action? Her lawyer tried to object. The judge held up a hand. I've heard enough. She turned to me. Mr. Nolan, the temporary restraining order is now permanent. 1 year, no contact. She is to remain 500 feet from your residence and workplace. Any violation will result in immediate arrest. Madison's mouth dropped open. Her mom stood up. This is insane, she shouted. He's punishing her for caring. The bailiff moved toward her. She sat back down. Madison began to cry. This isn't fair. I gave him a whole year. I was patient. He's punishing me for loving him. The judge stared her down. No. He's protecting himself from you. There's a difference. As I left the courtroom, her mom tried to lunge at me in the parking lot. The bailiff stopped her cold. You'll regret this, she hissed. She was the best thing that ever happened to you. I didn't say a word. I just got in my car, started the engine, and drove away. It's been a week since the hearing. My phone's quiet. No calls. No anonymous texts. No shady knocks at the door. The Ring camera's been blissfully uneventful, just a mail carrier, the neighbor's cat, and the occasional wandering raccoon who seems to judge my porch furniture. She's gone. At least for now. And the silence is strange. Not unwelcome. Just strange. I've spent the last few days restoring what she tried to damage. Took the drawing, my daughter's crayon masterpiece of us holding hands, to a professional. It's being restored. $200 well spent. The tear ran right through my figure, like someone tried to erase me. But the rest? Her handwriting. Her little heart over the I in Daddy. It's all still there. The stuffed rabbit? 3 professional cleanings. The smell's almost gone. Still a faint trace of cigarette smoke in its fur, but it doesn't matter. It's on my bookshelf now, watching over the room like a tiny, soft guardian. And the voice recording? Backed up 6 ways. Cloud, USB, email, encrypted drive, and yes, printed QR code in my safe deposit box. I've become that guy. Paranoid? Maybe. But no one's ever touching it again. People ask if I regret how I handled it. If I feel bad for how hard I came down. If I could've handled it better. No. I don't. Because here's what she did. She looked at the only remaining sound of my daughter, the literal voice of a child who no longer exists, and decided her discomfort mattered more than my memory. She reached into my grief and hit delete. She erased her out of photos. Moved her belongings. Stained her blanket. Cracked a frame. Lied to me. Lied about me. And when she was caught? She tried to spin it into my fault. That I was unstable. That I was cruel. That my love for my daughter made me unworthy of love. And yet, somehow, she still had defenders. People who called me selfish for not moving on. People who thought a father holding on to a 38-second voice clip was a warning sign instead of a lifeline. Let me be clear. That clip isn't an anchor. It's a tether. To love. To meaning. To the memory of the little girl who made me a father. Who used to giggle at bedtime and say, "Don't let the bedbugs bite." Like it was the funniest thing in the world. I live alone now, and for the first time in a while, I like it. My apartment feels like mine again. Light filters through the windows differently. The air feels easier to breathe. Her pictures are back up. The blankets folded at the foot of the bed in the guest room, where her memory boxes sit undisturbed. I've been talking to my neighbor more. The one who unknowingly let Madison's friend in. She felt terrible, still does. But I told her the truth. You're the only one who didn't lie to me. We had coffee. She saw the rabbit. She smiled. She asked if I'd ever want to talk about my daughter. I told her I always want to talk about her. That's something Madison never understood. Grief isn't a thing you escape from like a burning building. It's a room you live in. And if you're lucky, eventually it gets windows. Maybe even a view. I don't know if I'll ever date again. Don't really care. I have friends. I have family. I have work I care about. I have memories. And I have 38 seconds. I listen to it once a week. Sometimes more. Good night, Daddy. I love you. I miss you. Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite. Then she laughs. That laugh? That laugh is forever. And that's all I need.